Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. It is incredible to have you all, our amazing marketing community here from across the world for our closing session, Building Lasting Relationship Across Customer Lifecycle. I'm Neha Shah, Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Salesforce, and I'm very thrilled to be here today with all of you and our fantastic marketing community. Huge shout out to the entire Circanda team for making the Smart Dreaming Week absolutely amazing. And in a world where customer expectations are higher than ever, creating meaningful, lasting relationship is not just a goal, but it's a necessity. So today, I'm excited to share about how our innovations in AI agents can help marketers better understand and activate their customer data to build lasting relationship across the entire customer lifecycle. And as we talk about all these latest and greatest enhancements to marketing here at Salesforce, we may be referencing to some of our future innovations and forward-looking trends. So let's take a look at a fun forward-looking statement video.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Press Maxon, and here at Salesforce, we always strive to help, inform, educate, and yes, entertain, which is why I'm going to deliver today's safe harbor statement a little differently. So wherever you are, push your chair away from your desk or your table, give yourself some room to dance, and let's rock out.
Here comes the safe harbor statement under the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. This presentation contains some forward-looking statements about the company's financial and operating results. Now that includes expected GAAP and non-GAAP, financial and operating and non-operating results, and much more. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for you? It means please base all your purchasing decisions on currently available products. On currently available product. And third-party trademarks are property of their owners. For more information, you can check out this slide.
That's incredible, wasn't it? And I really want to thank Press Maxon from our creative team for this video. This one is always a delightful change from our standard forward-looking statement. So before we dive into how to leverage agents and data to build lasting relationship throughout the entire customer lifecycle, I really wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude to all of you. We truly appreciate you taking the time to join us today and throughout this entire week of Smart Dreaming. But more importantly, thank you for being our customers, our partners, and most of all, thank you for being a vital part of this amazing community and inspiring us every single day. So today, as we talk about the most successful marketers, they have actually become relationship marketers. They do more than just top of the funnel marketing. They build lasting customer relationships. And they go beyond attracting new customers. They bring together every department in the company, acting as a catalyst for added value. And these marketers personalize every interaction through the customer journey, but at the same time, they've also become experts in data and AI, quickly adapting to rapid changes brought by AI and agents. And as I mentioned earlier, the biggest shift that we are seeing is they are no longer just focused on top of the funnel, like awareness and acquisition. Instead, they look to the entire customer relationship covering every stage of the funnel. And the goal now is to enhance every moment of that engagement. And we have experienced all of this. None of us like the feeling that we are handed down through the funnel between departments that don't talk to each other, or if you have to repeat the same conversation over and over again. This type of disconnected customer relationship really hurt companies' growth. In fact, the number one frustration customers have with companies is disconnected experiences. And this is why, as I mentioned earlier, successful marketing teams operate in lockstep with each other, as well as other teams within the company, like IT, sales, service, and loyalty, and connect and personalize every moment of engagement across the entire customer lifecycle. Not only does this improve customer experience, but it also impacts the bottom line. Full lifecycle campaign strategies have 45% higher ROI. And as we talk about today's world, customers are in control. They expect personalized, contextual, and delightful experiences no matter how they choose to engage. And the challenge in adapting to this customer-driven relationship requires every team across the customer lifecycle to collaborate. And I know many of you on this call and in this session are in the front lines, working hard to trying to solve for this challenge. The good news is this is what Salesforce is uniquely positioned to help. The key to delivering customer-driven relationship is in the accessibility and actionability of your customer data across the customer 360. When we think of Salesforce, Data Cloud unifies data across source and makes it available to team across the organization in their existing apps and UI. No one can do this. This is a big differentiator. And with Agentforce, you'll be able to scale personalization in a way that wasn't possible before by bringing together humans, agents, data, and CRM. And this is the power of one unified Salesforce platform and why we are continuing to build innovations directly in this platform. And speaking of innovations, we introduced Agentforce campaigns at Dreamforce. Agentforce campaigns really help marketers like you and I save time with a trusted agent to help generate a campaign brief, target audience segments, email, and even build a customer journey in a flow. And with humans in the loop, meaning marketers can always adjust and tweak segments, you can rest assured that they're getting exactly what you need. And here at Salesforce, it's our belief that humans and agents can drive customer success together. I'm sure all of you on the call have heard about Agentforce, would love to just see a quick emoji as to how you would describe Agentforce. Seeing a lot of emojis on that. Great. So as we talk about Agentforce campaign, the exciting part is it is available in our newest edition of Marketing Cloud, which is the Marketing Cloud Advanced Edition. Marketing Cloud Advanced Edition is GA today. As of now, it is generally available. And what it does is it expands the capability on Marketing Cloud Growth Edition, which we launched earlier in the year in February. These Marketing Cloud editions really empower small and medium-sized businesses with more advanced AI and automation capabilities. And it enables marketers to connect with teams across the organization on one platform so they all can work together to drive revenue. What it also helps do is it unlocks data from businesses to really help marketers personalize engagement across the entire customer relationship. For example, marketers can do things like path experiments or better understand and manage the right engagement frequency for each individual. And these editions also help marketers create campaigns faster, as we talked about earlier with Agentforce campaigns and Salesforce Flow. And as you can see, we are very excited to launch Marketing Cloud Advanced Edition and would also love to hear from you. So if you can take a minute and just respond in a chat with 3 words that you would describe Marketing Cloud Growth or Advanced Edition, I would just love to see how you're feeling about these new products. Awesome. So with that, as we talk about Growth and Advanced Edition, we want to stress that Growth and Advanced Edition are the same products. Advanced Edition is a higher tier of Growth Edition, and it comes with additional feature functionality, as well as additional credits to power email, AI request, and active flows. And at launch, some of the key differentiating features for Advanced Edition includes Path Experiment, predictive AI capabilities like Einstein engagement frequency, Einstein engagement scoring, and unified conversations for SMS. And over next few releases, we will start seeing additional functionality in Advanced Edition. Also, one other important point, when we rolled out Growth Edition earlier in the year, it was just available for our customers in EMEA. Over past few quarters, we have made Growth Edition available to our customers in EMEA, LATAM, UK, and Canada. And as Advanced Edition is GA now, these regions will also have access to these editions. As a marketer, as I mentioned, I'm very excited about these innovations, but what is more exciting is to see how all of this works in a demo and also see how our existing Marketing Cloud customers can get access to these innovations. So please join me in welcoming Nathan Maphet, VP of Product Management, to a deeper dive on these innovations and how we are bringing them to our existing customers.
Awesome. Thank you, Neha. I'm excited to be with everyone today. We've got a lot of great innovations coming for Marketing Cloud account engagement. So I do lead the product team for account engagement, formerly and still often known as Pardot. And we've been hard at work at how to bring all these great new things to your current experience and be able to release that both just in the last couple of days and more things coming in the future. So let's dive in. So core to this has been bringing more and more of all the great innovation we have with Data Cloud to our account engagement experience. So we've actually been building that out over the last couple of years, laying a lot of the great foundations. So this means that we're able to use more and more of the segmentation experience and the extensibility of Data Cloud right away for account engagement. But it's also what's allowing us to start using all these great new features and services from Marketing Cloud Growth and Advance in your current experience. So this summer, we announced the ability for Marketing Cloud Growth to be basically requested and used by account engagement growth customers. This opens up a lot of the great features like campaign agents and SMS. We actually expanded that this October so that we were able to bundle in Marketing Cloud Growth to all account engagement growth plus advanced and premium customers based on regional availability. And then just yesterday, with the launch of Marketing Cloud Advance, we're actually able to bring all those great new features directly into our plus, advanced, and premium editions as well. So this means that those customers are able to start using things like path experimentation, additional AI capability, even two-way conversational. The key to all this is really Data Cloud, as that's what brings us that together and opens up this new experience. Let's take a look at how that actually drives this. So core to that is Data Cloud. It's what brings that individual together. It also allows us to bring all that additional data together for expanded personalization and additional AI insights. So more and more of Agent Force is going to be driven by this, bringing in new levels of productivity and personalization. With that, it also opens up these new services that are running directly on Data Cloud. So that opens up additional capability like flow for marketers and multi-channel orchestration and more in-depth personalization. Account engagement customers are able to use that along with their existing services at the same time in the same CRM org. So you're still using the same CRM objects, leads, contacts, accounts, opportunities, all that great stuff. We're able to expand that with additional data insights from Data Cloud and all these great new Agent Force powered features across from Marketing Cloud Growth and Advance. Let's take a look at a few key features that I'm particularly excited about. 3 to highlight is Agent Force campaigns. So this means you can rapidly create a campaign with a full feature campaign brief, use natural language to create segments, contents, all within the Marketing Cloud Growth app. That's really exciting. We're also building more on multi-channel messaging. So we know more and more of our customers are engaging across more and more channels, SMS, WhatsApp, email, web. And this is a great foundation to be able to use that more and more in your orchestration and in your personalization. And last, and this is exciting because this has been a key request of many customers over the years, is additional personalization capabilities. So everyone who's been looking for that additional field to pull into their email or form and landing page, this expands that and a lot more. It's a great way to start pulling in more of not only your CRM data, but to extend that with additional data insights you have about your customers and to use that throughout your emails and throughout the entire customer experience. So this resolves one of the most highly requested features, and I'm excited to be able to open that up to current customers. So let's talk about how you actually are able to enable this. And there's 3 different components. We're enabling through permission set licenses or PSLs, not pumpkin spice lattes. Although this would be the right season. But basically, we're adding these PSLs directly into your edition, so you can assign those to individual users and be able to give them access to that. The key part, though, is enabling Data Cloud. So Data Cloud is what allows that to be enabled and turned on. It's a prerequisite of all this. You can get that through Data Cloud everywhere. This is free through my account. It doesn't have any credits, though. Salesforce Foundations is another option. Or you can purchase a full Data Cloud Marketing edition. Once that's done, there's some configuration, some feature configuration around SMS, basically these new features you want to turn on as well. And then there'll be some credit purchase to do. Basically, with this, we're giving you the engine for this, but the credits are the gas for Data Cloud consumption. It's what powers it and allows you to scale out and to be able to meter and use it at the right time. So this requires some messaging credits. We're going to start doing more in-depth sends. GPT credits for Einstein, as well as data services credits. We're going to start pulling more of that together and bring in more of your data and identity resolution. So speaking of that, we do highly recommend Salesforce Foundations. It's a great way to get started. It's providing a good set of credits to be able to get that first test in, that proof of concept, or test out those first couple of use cases. So it's 250,000 data services credits, 10,000 segmentation activation, and a terabyte of data storage. Plus plenty of identity licenses and users to be able to get that configuration going and get that tenant set up and be able to start testing out and using. So that's the foundation. We're going to dive in a little bit of what that actually looks like through a little bit of a demo and a walkthrough of a potential customer and what that experience might be. So we're going to start with a fictional customer called Samatech. They're a new player in the enterprise software space, and they were actually working at a product-led growth motion. So they're building in new users through a lot of trial users and trying to work on better ways to convert them into paying and long-term users. So the marketing department is now tasked with how do we engage those customers and be able to bring them into maybe a pro serve engagement and take them to that next level. So Anna is the marketing lead for this adoption effort. She's going to start with, she's got a lot of content and engagement already within account engagement. She's got great templates, but she wants to be able to take that and extend it a little bit more so that she can target some things particular towards trial users who are about to have their org expire. So she's got the email, but she wants to be able to bring in more personalization based on that specific experience, be able to entice them with an offer for professional services. So she's going to switch over to the new Marketing Cloud growth experience in the new marketing app and start leveraging that cross-subject personalization. So she's able to do that right away and preserve all her content. That's all there. There's no concerns on that end. And then from there, she's able to jump and be able to add in cross-subject personalization directly into the content to be able to use the trial org expiration date. So she's able to click here and bring up another dialog to actually browse to that. From here, she can pick that, make a few additional personalization touches, and get ready to preview it. So now she can preview the rendered email. She sees it's great. It's got name, expiration date. We're all set to go. Next, she's going to build out some segments that are very particularly targeted for these trial orgs that are expiring within the week. But she also wants to make sure she's not oversaturating and she's reaching individuals at the right time. So since she has access to Data Cloud, she can go ahead and suppress any customers who maybe have open service cases. Instead, use that as an opportunity to have support reach out to them, resolve the problem, and give enough time to really trial out that software. This is actually a pretty common ask. So Anna wants to make sure that this data segment has actually its own segment available in account engagement as well. So she's able to create that, map it to a dynamic list in account engagement, and actually reuse this elsewhere in her marketing effort so that those customers are suppressed until everything's been able to resolve and they're ready to receive that next step. She goes back to the marketing app. She's got everything ready with a new campaign. She's got the segment. She's got the email. She schedules the send and then kicks off that trial conversion campaign. Now, for the actual trial customer experience, they're going to get that notification and be brought to a website that's basically providing an offer for a pro serve or professional services engagement. So it's going to prompt for basic information and also for what's the right contact method so that that team can contact them and engage directly. So as individuals submit that, whether it's SMS or email, the marketing team has built out a fully featured flow that actually takes that submission, routes it, and then sends the follow-up based on that channel that individual specified. This is great to get that ball rolling on moving customers from trial to paid. And it can continue to see all the engagement as that campaign runs and continues. She's able to go to the email dashboards, see how it's looking, see they're getting a good number of accounts requesting consultations. She's pretty excited about this and is also looking to drill a little bit more into an individual. So what's exciting is that as she's seeing this and seeing the individuals convert, she, along with really marketing, sales, and service together, are actually able to see all this come together all in one individual. So while whoever they're looking at, they can see all the engagement from signups to conversion to the professional service engagement. They can see all their historical information from account engagement. That's all there as well. And in fact, as additional campaigns are still running, as that data is being built out, that's only going to continue to enrich that profile. They're just getting more and more views of their customers across all channels and be able to use these new tools and features to build that out. So this is a really great success for her. She's increasing trial conversions, and she's able to see that impact across her org, building a data cloud to expand that personalization and provide that great source of truth. So that concludes our little walkthrough demo. A couple of things to highlight. First is Marketing Cloud is definitely expanding in a great new way through Data Cloud. A lot of great innovation, being able to pull in more and more of your data together, unlock new insights with Agentforce, which is going to continue to expand capabilities and the ability to do personalization at scale. And again, as always, Salesforce is the best way to be able to bring all that view across sales, service, marketing, commerce of your customer, and be able to bring those next personalized experiences. Feel free to scan this QR code if you want to look for and find out more information about all of this. And speaking of QR codes, we have even more on this slide. So if you want to find out more on Marketing Cloud Advanced or World Tours or all the great features that we have. Thank you for having me. I'm now going to turn it over to Andrea for our Fireside chat.
Awesome. Nathan, thank you for walking us through that, and thank you for the introduction. I'm really excited to introduce Eric and Bobby as well from Salesforce. If we could bring them on stage. Awesome. So for those of you who haven't met Eric and Bobby from Salesforce, Bobby is the CMO of Marketing Cloud, and Eric is the SVP of Product Management and Marketing Applications, aka a lot of the cool new things that Nathan just demoed. So Bobby and Nathan, thank you both Bobby and Eric, thank you both for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Thank you, man.
So as you guys know, as previous guests of our Fireside chat, we like to wrap our dreaming with just some Q&A, picking your brains on what's going on in the ecosystem and giving our audience a chance to hear firsthand from Salesforce leadership what some of the changes are that are coming down the pike. Also just kind of picking your brains on the future, kind of what you see as trends that are evolving and new things that are happening in the ecosystem. So I'd like to start with Agentforce. That's been a hot topic this year. Huge topic, obviously, at Dreamforce. And it's clear that it has significant implications for marketers. We just heard about Agentforce campaigns. Nathan walked us through some of the AI functionality for Marketing Cloud. But can we take a step back and talk about like what really qualifies as an agent and how should we be thinking about agents?
Yeah, for sure. And let me start off by saying, thank you, Andrea, for inviting me to Marjorie again. I love the opportunity to connect with you and the community here, and just the enthusiasm as well as the meme game is really amazing. So I really appreciate that. So back to agents. An agent exhibits all four of these behaviors. The first is that it has the ability to search across data that would be relevant for a job, a request, or a prompt. In our case, it's able to do this through Data Cloud. Data Cloud connects and harmonizes your enterprise data and makes it actionable for Agentforce to search across and to act on. The next behavior is that it can analyze that data and then come up with an action plan to execute on that task. So it's possible through a combination of the data that I mentioned that's in Data Cloud, as well as our ability to safely employ large language models to reason over that data. So that's covered by the Einstein Trust Layer. So next, all agents have the ability to execute an action plan for that job. What that means is by interpreting the data with the LLM and then applying the skill, the action that's necessary to actually perform the task. And then lastly, all agents have the ability to learn and adapt. They want to be good at their jobs just like we do. And so by learning and adapting, it'll help it be better the next time. So looking at Agentforce campaigns, let's demonstrate that in practice. The campaign agent uses your prompt and the data in Data Cloud to identify the action relevant for the action relevant for your prompt. So in this case, it's campaign creation. And then it's going to interpret the prompt and understand how to create a campaign strategy and the key messages or the segment attributes that are necessary for a response. Then it springs into action. It's going to create the drafts of those assets, the email copy, the audience segment, even a draft of the orchestration, and then it will learn based on your reaction to the feedback in the agent how to do better next time. So the campaign agent is an example of an agent that helps to save employees time. So in this case, it's marketers. It strives to be the assistant that you've always wished for but never had budget for. And it's the first of many out-of-box agents that we want to produce. It's also a seed and an example of what anyone you could produce using Agentforce and some of the capabilities that are in the platform for creating and extending these agents.
I like that framing of it's the assistant that you wish you had budget for, because I know a lot of our teams and teams of folks on this call, we're strapped for resources and strapped for time, and just the number of steps and the thinking and the clicks that go behind successfully getting a campaign out the door. It's just a lot, and that kind of reasoning of like setting the campaign strategy, determining key messages, determining the segments, like those are all the steps that humans have to go through today. And so the agent assisted future is really compelling. So beyond just that campaign use case, which is super exciting, are there any other types of marketing agents or AI initiatives on the roadmap that we should be keeping an eye out for as marketers?
Yeah, absolutely. So we also launched or announced, I should say, Agentforce personalization, and that will become generally available in our summer of 25 release. And that agent's going to really help scale one-to-one personalization, where now you have an agent automatically personalizing the touch points across all of your channels, looking at real-time engagement, your conversations, and your profile data. So really excited for that out-of-the-box agent as well. But I just want to pause and just talk about something that we don't always highlight as much with Agentforce, is that when you have Agentforce, you have this tool called Agent Builder. And with Agent Builder, all of you can create your own topics and actions that actually are what are the building blocks of an agent. So all of our customers, all of our partners, they can build their own custom agent using Agent Builder. And this helps them define jobs to be done that are very specific to your use case, where you're not doing this with code, we're actually using like basically AI to help create the agents themselves. So when you create a topic, you're going to go through and you're going to write prompts in normal language. You're going to define the moment that the agent should start. When does the agent basically act? When does it kind of perk up? What actions does the agent have access to? Which also means you're defining what actions the agent can't do. And that kind of connects into this idea of guardrails, so that we're really thinking, how do we make sure that if you go off topic, that your agent will respond appropriately, saying, this is not a topic that I have the ability to answer on or to take action on. And you can kind of really control what an agent does and does not do, just like you can control what data sources that agent's going to have information to. And then, of course, this also means that the agent can have goals and KPIs built right in. So you can start thinking about like, what's the results? How does this work? So, we've been brainstorming some of the kind of like build your own examples that we think some of our customers are going to do. And I think a natural one is, we recently announced how we have automated conversations in WhatsApp, where you could have a tool like Marketing Cloud send a WhatsApp personalized message. And initially the thought was, you could reply back and talk to a service agent. Well, you could also reply back and talk to an AI agent. And that AI agent could be answering questions about the promotion you have, about the products across the board, and maybe only transfer you to a service agent if there's a issue that the agent can't solve, or there's a problem with an order that you need to go through. You can start seeing how I can have this AI kind of like marketing promotional agent as the immediate response right away, having more of a two-way conversation. Another example is just think about like an event like this, or Salesforce. We love our events. How can an agent help build an agenda for every attendee? So now imagine you're going in there and you're having a conversation with an agent. And you're like, okay, here's what I'm worried about. Here are my challenges I want to solve. I'm only here these days. I really want to go to this session. Like, help me fill in the rest. And it could be doing that based on all that rich data that you might have in that customer. But combining that with the large language models and really having outputs that generate a very unique response for each person. Or imagine just lead capture. We often do lead capture on websites. We do the lead form. It's from like the year 2000 again, where it's like, here's your email address and here's all the information we ever want to know about you. But like, what if you just had a conversation? What if it was, here's the email address and it just asked you a couple of questions. And then it was like, this webinar just happened a couple of weeks ago, and we really think this makes sense for what you're talking about. You should go check that out. Or imagine this webinar is coming up, or there's this gated asset that we think that we really like get you to. So it's like, how do you really start to personalize that experience? And you can really start to see with agents, the lines are going to really blur between like, they already have, but it's going to be really blurry of like, well, was that a marketing interaction? Or was that a sales interaction? Or was that a service interaction? But the reality is, for the entire time I've been a marketer, the customer has not cared what type of interaction it is. The customer just cared it was an interaction with the brand. So the sooner we can kind of completely remove those barriers and we really think about how it just is this customer experience, I think the better we're going to be. Real quick, two more. You could think about how as an agent constantly reprioritizing what journey someone's in and really figuring out when they should get pulled out and move to another one so they're always in the highest priority. Or imagine, like that marketer that you didn't hire before, you have someone in and every morning at 9 a.m., they run a report and they look at, how can they prevent churn and how can they, proactively move certain people into a different promotion or a re-engagement promotion, or change what channel we engage with them on. All of these types of things can really be done at scale in any kind of use case you can dream of yourself. And I hope that everyone can hear more about agents at all of our upcoming Agentforce World Tours. And if it's not in a city near you, there's always Salesforce Plus.
Gotta love the shameless plug for Agentforce. They're going to be great events. Yeah, and Bobby, those examples that you shared, what's striking to me is like, those are all super attainable. Like the pace of innovation around AI and Agentforce, and I feel like 12, 18 months ago, everything we were talking about was super hypothetical, and everything that you just described, like there's a path to implementing that on the platform. So it's an exciting time to be in this ecosystem. When we talk about kind of future use cases, the art of the possible, like what can be done with Agentforce with customers, one of the first questions that comes up is security and trust. Like, how is my data going to be used? Is this being used in an ethical way? How can marketers lean in and embrace all the innovation that's happening here while still protecting their data and building customer trust? Do you have a take on that, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, everything we do in marketing is about building trust with our customers. And if we do it wrong or violate that trust, it can all come crashing down very fast. I mean, and Salesforce's number one value has always, and I believe will always, be trust, right? And so a lot of this is just connected to the best practices that we've always seen in marketing for the past 30 years. Is kind of like, how do they get even hyperscaled now, where any agent is only as good as the data that you're giving it. But when you think about collecting that data, you have to be transparent with your customers as what data you are collecting from them and how you're going to use it. We see time and time again that customers are willing to share data if they understand how it's going to be used, and if they see like a two-way kind of reciprocal agreement in this. If they think they're going to get a better experience by providing some of their data, they're more willing to do that. If they think a company or a brand is going to kind of just leverage and abuse that data, they're much less likely to want to use that. So this is a big reason why we built in the Einstein trust layer into all of this. And so if I walk through the Einstein trust layer for a second, we're just going to start. We're going to go from the left over to the right. And what you're going to see is it really starts with the idea of a prompt. So in Salesforce, somewhere in here, the user is going to input some sort of prompt. What's really cool is with that prompt, we can go through and actually be grounding it in the background behind the scenes. So every kind of prompt in there can have a template that the user might not realize provided additional information. And it could be things like records to CRM data on a customer that you're referencing in that prompt because you want to write an email. It could be brand guidelines. But one of the real powers here is that we're able to then really leverage all of the data that Salesforce has that you put in Salesforce for this actual generation. And so we can go through, we can do the, ground this with that data is what we're calling. When we ground it, you're really just augmenting the prompt with additional information. And then before anything leaves Salesforce, we data mask it. So if somehow it had a name in it, an address in it, any type of person identifiable information, that gets masked out and that never leaves Salesforce through our gateway. And then all of the LLM partners that we partner with, we will only do it if they agree to our zero retention requirements, which means that when we pass things over, the prompt is not retained by them. The prompt does not train their model. They don't retain the output. There's nothing that they save. As a matter of fact, when it comes back in is where we're going to do all the auditing. So after it runs through, all the data is masked. You can choose which model you're using in here. It comes back into Salesforce. We actually screen it again with a different model to check for toxicity. So is there a potential bias in this answer that you might not be realizing? We will then unmask that data, put that back in, and eventually we even audit it to make sure that if you're in a regulated industry, that entire kind of trail is kept and secured in a way that you still can leverage it and meet up with all your the auditors across the board there. So really, really important here, and kind of recapping how all these things work is, again, you get to choose the model you're going to run with. The model doesn't retain the prompt. The model doesn't train on the data. The model doesn't retain the output. Nothing is stored in the end in an external system. Everything comes back to Salesforce, where we then actually do all the secure audit trailing. We do the data demasking across the board there. So it's a really, really cool way that we solve this to make sure that your data stays your data and secure and protected.
That visual is super helpful and just contextualizing how that all comes together. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the comment that customers are willing to share their data if they know how it's being used and they get something out of it. I don't want to hand over all of my information and just to improve somebody else's product or do something for the company that I'm paying money to use their tool. But if for me as a consumer or me as a business user, if I'm getting smarter recommendations, saving time, getting to what I need faster, then yeah, that's a fair exchange. And so that transparency and trust is a cornerstone of the whole agreement. The next thing I wanted to ask you both about is just some more context on these product announcements. So this has been just in terms of the number of new things coming out, this has been a big year for Marketing Cloud. So Marketing Cloud Growth Edition, Advanced Edition, advancements to Starter, Pro Suite. How should customers think about all of these new products and SKUs as part of the broader Marketing Cloud portfolio? Is there any context you could share on how all these things fit together, how they can add value to a marketer's needs?
Yeah, no, it's been a really exciting year because we've been going through, and I feel like the last 3 or 4 years of work is really kind of becoming publicly known and available to everyone else. And a lot of this, as we mentioned before, is really about kind of Data Cloud being our foundational offering for how we think about how customers get data into Salesforce and then how they're going to use that data in Salesforce. And we believe that we've built it in a way that's applicable from a smaller growth business to the higher growth and even enterprise companies. And so for us, a lot of this is all about how do we have that path for SMB customers? How do they go through and potentially think about starting with Marketing Cloud in a very easy to use version like our Starter Suite, where it is you get sales, service, marketing, and commerce all together. Really, this idea kind of geared towards some of these smaller businesses. And then as I think about as I move up and up, okay, I've grown out of some of the starter capabilities. I want to move into Pro Suite. I still keep having, the sales, service, marketing, and commerce capabilities all in there. Again, these two additions natively store everything inside of Data Cloud. Think of it as just, in historical days, Salesforce had standard objects and custom objects. Now we put the data in Data Cloud, right? No matter where you're using the data, you have to bring it into Salesforce for us to leverage it. And that is our Data Cloud is our larger scale data repository for all that. And then as the customer's kind of able to continue to grow past our Pro Suite, that's when they can move into the Marketing Cloud Growth Edition. So you can really see how we have this kind of like scaling up motion here. And then, as they continue to go, we just recently talked about how we launched the Marketing Cloud Advanced Edition. And so we have this whole path for customers over here. Now, what we're doing is we have this with all of our existing products, which you can kind of see over here on the right side, where Data Cloud is optional with all of those, but it will make all of them better. And so how does this work? Well, Marketing Cloud Account Engagement, for example, as we saw in the demo, works hand in hand through Data Cloud with the new Marketing Cloud Growth or Advanced Edition, where you're able to actually see contacts that you got in one tool in the other. And you're able to see the segments, and you're able to see the email sends, and one email send is one email send. So that we're really kind of merging these two products together in a way that that you can use both at the same time. As you start thinking about, how do I want to potentially leverage some of those new Agentforce capabilities that we just talked about, and on the Marketing Cloud Account Engagement customer. So we're really super excited about how all of these kind of are being able to be interlinked, because we have this fabric of Data Cloud that does all the kind of connective tissue behind the scenes for you.
Awesome, and thanks for the visual on that. It's helpful to sort of contextualize kind of how that all fits in. Other kind of notable things from 2024. It's been a significant year for Marketing Cloud from a Gartner and an analyst ranking perspective. I've noticed that recent innovations have drawn the attention of the Gartner analysts. Can you tell us sort of in plain terms what the Gartner report and data, what does that mean for people who are using Marketing Cloud? And Eric, could you maybe tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So we're absolutely delighted to be recognized by as a leader by analysts. And one thing that these reviews do is they help summarize why products are differentiated in the space. So in our case, according to Gartner, some of our strengths are just the broad portfolio of products that we have to leverage, as well as the deep ecosystem that supports it. And that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody on this call. We have the ability to connect to the world's #1 AI CRM, and Bobby just described how marketing, sales, service, and commerce are now available to all of our customers. And also, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody on this call, because we're supported by a really, truly great collection of partners, many of whom are on this call, and one of whom's on stage with me here. So the other strength that they noted was just our strength with Data Cloud and with Einstein. So Salesforce's investments in Data Cloud have been in the service of creating and enriching that 360-degree view of your customers. And of course, that includes all the structured metadata that's inside Salesforce, but it's now beginning to include unstructured interactions as well, like documents, chat, or even voice calls. So with Data Cloud, and now with Einstein AI and with Agentforce, marketers are able to gain access to, of course, agents to assist them in their work, but also just advanced analytics and the ability to really understand the customer's interactions with the brand, and also to coordinate those actions, to respond in the moment, and to take ownership of the brand, even outside of the sort of standard role of marketing in the funnel. Lastly, they did note, Gartner noted our generative AI reach, and it's because we have a broad portfolio, including Agentforce and all of this customer data, that offers marketers the ability to leverage generative AI out of box, and also to extend it with the agent builder. So what this means overall is that marketing leaders can enhance their marketing or their sales or their service or their commerce interactions with personalized experiences, meeting customers in the moment with the right response on the right channel. So yeah, just happy to be recognized as a leader. Definitely not going to rest on our laurels. An old boss of mine said the biggest room in the world's finest hotel is the room for improvement. So we're always looking at ways to grow and to delight our customers in the future.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always love reading the reports from Gartner because as someone who's in the tech on an ongoing basis, kind of pulling out and looking at what's happening in the broader ecosystem, how do platforms compare to one another, what are the feature sets that to prioritize kind of as we're advising customers on this. It's always a great read. Another one that caught my eye was that account engagement was named as a leader in the Magic Quadrant for marketing automation platforms. And any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, we are excited that Salesforce was, again, I think this was our 7th year in a row of being recognized as a leader in B2B marketing automation. Here, similar things like what did Gartner look at was they talked about our platform capabilities, specifically, our database approach to campaigns, designs, to the intelligent tools that we have, how overall the product can still support the complex B2B marketing needs. So think about how do we all think about like addressing ideas like buyer committees with customization and data insights. Gartner called us out for our market responsiveness. So talked a lot about how, again, we are this idea of really an open product. And then we have API enhancements and also improvements to all of our Einstein AI capabilities to really assist in that content creation and to assist in that workflow improvements. And then they talked about our lead workflow design, where, through it, we can go through and create complicated multi-step journeys and workflows, do testing and simulations. But, we can also still do some of the, more, I don't want to call it old fashioned, but just what we all know still happens a lot, where you're still going to be routing leads potentially through a round robin, where they're routed based on geographies, based on sales teams expertise, based on capacities, where we know stuff like that still happens.
That's awesome. So I'm getting the little warning banner here that we're in our final stretch of time here. And so I want to end on a question that we have ended every Mar Dreaming so far on, which is asking for some predictions for the future. And we already got the forward-looking statement video out of the way. So forward-looking is welcome with this question. But looking ahead to 2025, what are your predictions for where marketing is going to go? Like, what's going to happen? What's going to be the impact on marketers in 2025? And feel free to look out beyond 2025 if you feel so inclined. But Bobby, will you kick us off on the predictions front?
Yeah, and I don't know exactly where we're going to get in 2025 versus the future here, but I think that we're in a really cool spot in marketing where, we can really make marketing two-way, right? Like, we often think marketing is one way, and it's almost like sales or service has to be the two-way one. But like, why does marketing have to stay one way? We don't have to treat everything like billboards anymore. Why can't I have it where my website is much more personalized on the fly, is much more learning about me across the board, and it just becomes a lot more interactive? And I think that's one of those moments where AI is going to really help us kind of like scale across that and make engaging experiences where, like, when we often talk about how customers talk to a brand, but in reality, we send them to a website where they go and click and nothing changes based on all the information that the customer gives them. So why can't that start to become more conversational? Whether that's through what, we used to think of as chatbots turning more into agents, whether that's through, pages being more built on the fly, but it's also, we kind of know we can respond to SMS messages, but we're used to like having, option 1, 2, or 3 is all we can say, or we break it. But I really think that, this will be a point where you can start responding and start engaging with a company, actually start asking questions, getting personalization back, and the company continues to learn more, is able to kind of store more about this customer into their data on them, thinks about how to use this information for future engagements. I think to me as a longtime digital marketer, I think one of the holy grails is really going to be, when I get to a point where I can start replying to emails. Every email you send in your personal life, you do it because you expect someone to likely reply to it. But somehow when brands do it, we don't expect that, or we even have a thing at the bottom saying like, do not do this, you cannot reply, it's an unmanned inbox, it will just bounce, the likes of that. And I think that what this really is going to be kind of seeing is this is all because, we're going to have this idea of humans and agents kind of working together, being able to help that organization scale in ways that they couldn't before. And help the AI is going to really not help us just use the data, but I think a big thing here is AI is going to help us get more of that data, and it will even probably help us unify that data. And that unification is going to be key because I can't stress it enough. No AI strategy works without good, organized, understood data, right? The right data is what's going to power all of this. And so it's like, how do customers take that first step? I would say if you're not ready for all of the Gen AI and LLM components, the first step is make sure your data is in order. The first step is making sure you know how to use it, how to how it's being stored, and that almost more important than anything else, that your business users have access to the right pieces of that data. Because so often I talk to organizations that have data, but like the IT team has it, or it's in some system that the marketer doesn't have the keys to.
Yeah, that two-way engagement concepts, you have me thinking on that one, because so much of marketing in the past has been treated as broadcast only, and why shouldn't it be a two-way conversation? Like why should customer service and sales be the only ones that get to talk to customers, and what could our marketing look like if it was a two-way, more interactive experience? I hope we get there in 2025, because it's going to be a fun day for marketers. Eric, what about you? What are your thoughts for what the future holds for marketers?
Well, I reviewed my notes again from last year to make sure that the predictions we made last time weren't completely off base. And I think over the last two sessions, I talked about B2B and B2C tactics converging. And what I was referencing there was more on channels. So, one of the things we're excited to enable with Marketing Cloud Growth and Advanced for our account engagement customers is giving them native access on the Salesforce platform to channels like SMS and other channels in the future, Safe Harbor, so that they can, so they get the ability to message like a B2C marketer, to get the same tool set to message like a B2C marketer, but to use it in the context of B2B marketing. So yeah, that's only possible because of the data unification that Bobby mentioned before. So unification of data in Data Cloud will support the customer or account-driven relationship marketing with improved access and actionability on business data. So this will help B2B marketers in a traditional context, traditionally helping to generate awareness and interest and helping move customers along in the funnel. But it will also help marketers engage productively in relationship marketing outside of that funnel and just meeting customers where they are with the right message at the right time. And I also expect, and this is a little bit more forward-looking. So we're welcoming you into the safe harbor, and inviting you into these calm waters. But I also expect marketers to have more openness to leveraging AI in the service of personalization. And so what I mean by that is being more open to not just using AI to generate content, which then goes into your CMS or into your DAM, but actually leveraging AI for the use of that content to better target and better personalize your message to your intended audience. So taking buyer groups as an example, I think it's today it can be challenging to tailor your marketing to a buyer group, because you've got to pick the right channel for each recipient. You got to pick the right content for that recipient. You've got to adjust the layout for all those permutations of channel and content, not to mention just picking what to recommend and then doing that at scale across all of your accounts. So what I believe is that marketers are going to seek out tools to help with that. So using AI to help pick channels and even pick the right time of day to send those messages. So we have some tooling for that. And then also leveraging AI to do the recommendations. And again, there's tools available in market for that. We have a few. But I think the thing that marketers will start to do is be willing to give up a little bit of the precision in the structure of defining all of those permutations of content, sort of content, channel, layout, etc., and look for tools to sort of help fill in the gaps there, where you may have 3 variants of your content, but you don't have every possible permutation of channel, layout, content, etc. And because I think that marketers are beginning to see the return on investment from AI, it's no longer theoretical. It is evident that you could have a better response from AI. So I think marketers would be more open to trusting AI in those micro decisions that ultimately create a one-to-one personalized experience, whether it's at scale in B2B and B2C marketing, or in a B2B scenario like an account-based marketing situation. So having said all that, we would love to continue to partner with you and our customers and our partners to make these ambitions, these predictions a reality, and just help marketers be more efficient and effective in their daily lives.
That prediction I am absolutely here for. If AI can help us tackle the beast that is personalization, sign me up. So I know we just have just over 2 minutes left here. So Eric and Bobby, thank you both for joining us for this. Love hearing your insights and really appreciate you making the time to join us from our dreaming. And with the final 2 minutes we have left here, I believe Sarah has a few announcements and housekeeping items. So I'll pass the mic to her to take us through those.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us, Neha, Nathan, Bobby, Eric, Andrea. It's been great. I know the Fireside Chat is a most loved session that we see every single year. But now for the moment that we've all been waiting for, which is the swag winners. So we kept track of everybody's engagement throughout the week, and we've got 5 different winners here that is going to receive a hoodie voucher. I am not going to read the names because I will butcher them very poorly. So if you see your name on this list, you will be getting an email from our team for how to claim your prize. In addition to the hoodies, we also have 5 winners for certification vouchers. So if you're ready to get any of your AI specialist certifications, get leveled up in Data Cloud, any of the awesome stuff that you have seen and heard this week, we've got 5 cert vouchers for the folks here on the screen as well. And we will also be reaching out via email. More than that, this does wrap our sessions. Tomorrow is workshop day. If you do not have a workshop pass, it is not too late to get one. You can still register at mardreaming.com for your workshop pass. This gets you access to 13 different workshops across all different products. So there's definitely something for everybody. It also will give you access to the recording. So if you cannot make it, or you can only make it for 1 or 2 tomorrow, you get access to all 13 workshops. And addition to that, just one other final announcement that we've got is our Genius Bar is also going to stay open for the next 2 days. So if you have not gotten a chance yet to book your Genius Bar appointment, again, this is free one-on-one consulting. It will be open all day on Thursday and Friday. So if you are interested in taking up on this opportunity, if you go to the sponsors and resources section up at the menu that you see there, you'll find the Genius Bar, and that'll have all the information available to you on how to register for your session. So with that concludes our days of sessions. So I will see everybody back here tomorrow that has a workshop pass. Otherwise, for those looking for recordings, they will be available by Friday on this platform. So thank you all for coming. See you tomorrow.